recommendation video, but I couldn't think of enough books for a specific genre. So instead, I decided that we are going to do oddly specific book recommendations. So I asked over on my Instagram, which is at HaleyJean, by the way. So anytime I ask for your input on videos directly, it's through my Instagram stories. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go do that. You won't regret it. So I asked on Instagram for you guys to fill in the blank of find me a book that blank. And I'm going to be giving you the books that you are searching for, whether they're based on a vibe, a color, a mood, a theme. I'm super excited. So we have 15 oddly specific book recommendations for you all. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Find me a book that is a perfect read for summer, but is not a romance. I recently read this and it was a 5-star read for me. There are going to be a few books in this list that I have talked about before on this channel, but there are a lot that I have not talked about at all over here. So yeah, sorry if any of these are repeats. You've heard me recommend them before, but my favorite books I will recommend over and over and over because I just want everyone to read them. So I think you should read The House in the Cerulean Sea by DJ Clune. Now, I feel like this book is perfect for summer because it is set on an island and at this little house in the middle of the island, so it kind of has that warm summer vibes. This follows a man named Linus Baker, who is a social worker, and he gets assigned to go and watch over the house in the Cerulean Sea, which is a house that houses magical children. So each of these children have some sort of magic ability, and I love them so much. The character dynamics, the found family, the summer vibes are perfect. There's so many like little adventures that they all go on. It's so great. I will say it does have a romance subplot, but it's not a romance book, and romance isn't the, main aspect of the story. So it's also very gay, which we love. I mean, just look at that sunset sprayed edge and tell me that that doesn't give you summer vibes. Love it. Find me a book that is super surreal and weird, but that you still relate to. I'm going to recommend Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I've said this on my vlog channel, but the main character in this book, her name is Frances, and she ends up in an affair relationship. She is the other woman. Basically, her and her best friend, Bobby, meet this married couple, and Frances begins seeing Nick, who's the husband, and Bobby ends up seeing Nick's wife. So it's kind of this like 4 people dynamic. They're all kind of dating each other and flirting with each other. Like, it is a very weird and strange relationship dynamic, and they all hang out together, and yeah, it's just an interesting relationship dynamic, something that I would never find myself in, but I relate so much to Frances's like inner dialogue and her inner thoughts. Some of the stuff that she thinks and like her reactions to events are exactly the way that I would react and how I would think. So even though I couldn't like that says good or bad things about me, but I'm pouring my soul out to you. Now you can read this and psychoanalyze me, so have fun. Find me a book that is a short, fun, silly, goofy, smutty read. I have just the thing for that. I would prescribe The Dare by Harley LaRue. Now this, as you can tell, is very short. It's a tiny little novella, and it is all born, very little plot. Okay, so if you want a spicy, fun time, this is my go-to. This follows a girl named Jessica, and she is like super popular, kind of the HBIC in high school. And so her and her friends would always pick on and bully these boys, specifically the main character, Manson. I call him Mason because I do not appreciate a Charles Manson reference, okay? So we're gonna call him Mason for all intents and purposes. So Jessica and her friends would pick on Mason and his friends, and now it's been a few years. They've graduated high school. They haven't seen each other since then, and it's Halloween, and there's this big Halloween party going on, and Mason and Jessica end up going against each other in a game of beer pong. And if Jessica loses this game of beer pong, she has to basically become a personal slave to Mason for the night. And it goes very intense, very kinky, very spicy. It's such a fun time. I have basically forced this book on so many of my friends and people in my Discord server, and they've all loved it. So if you want a fun, silly, goofy, spicy time, this is perfect. So yeah, I ordered the paperback on Amazon, but it is not available through like the Kindle store. So if you want to read it, I suggest getting it on the iBooks app on Apple. That's how I read it first, and then I loved it so much that I bought a physical copy. But yeah, I'm not sure why it got banned from the Kindle store, because it's really not that intense or like taboo. It is very kinky. There are trigger warnings and like kink warnings, so you can check those before you read. But yeah, I would say like nothing that problematic or anything happens. I don't know why, but there is a clown orgy in this book. Yeah, you heard that right. A clown orgy. And I gobbled up every second of it. I love this book. And if you read this and you end up really enjoying it and you like the characters and you want more, Harley LaRue does have 2 full-length novels called Losers Part 1 and Losers Part 2 that follow the same characters after this. So, but honestly, this is the best. I read the first full-length novel and it was like okay, but nothing compares to this one. Find me a book that will make me sob but has a good ending. Now, I have talked about this. It's very, very popular, but if there's a chance that you somehow have not yet read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, this is a perfect pick for this prompt. It made me sob like a child, like a newborn baby. I was screaming, crying, throwing up. It was unreal. The roller coaster of emotions that this put me on, but the writing is so beautiful, and the way that it ends, even though there is a sort of melancholy sadness to it, the ending is so good and so beautiful and just perfect. I think Madeline Miller rewrote the story of Achilles and Patroclus so beautifully, and it's a masterpiece. It's absolutely a masterpiece, and everyone should read it. this book, I will say, I've only just started it, but I just know, the author's one of my all-time favorite authors. I just know it's gonna be absolutely amazing. It is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. This just came out in paperback, so perfect time to go pick it up if you haven't. This is really unexpected because if you're familiar with John Green as an author, he normally writes like YA, coming of age, romantic fiction novels, okay? But this is actually nonfiction, and it is a collection of reviews. So in this book, each chapter is a different topic, and the range of stuff that John Green reviews is crazy. So let me read a few of them. We have Humanity's Temporal Range, Halley's Comet, Scratch and Sniff Stickers, Diet Dr. Pepper, Velociraptors, Air Conditioning, The Internet, Penguins of Madagascar, CNN, etc. So John Green goes and reviews all of these abstract and different topics and rates them out of 5 stars. So good, so insightful, so funny, and I just love that John Green dipped his toes into nonfiction and completely excelled at it. This is also a podcast if you prefer audio listening over like physical reading. Each of the episodes is also available as a podcast. So amazing, so different for John Green, but perfectly done. Like I'm a John Green stan before I am a person. Find me a book that is the perfect read for Pride Month. Now, this is another book that I have not read yet or finished reading yet, but I want to recommend it because 1, it is a sapphic romance, and 2, it is very relevant to me and my channel, okay? This is definitely a book I will be picking up this Pride Month, so if you want to read it with me, it is Behind the Scenes by Corellia Setzwater. Now, this is a sapphic romance between 2 women, but one of the women, and I quote, has a secret hobby creating incredibly tactile, if surprisingly sexy, mindfulness videos. So basically, she creates ASMR videos. The publisher actually reached out to me and sent this to me, which is so amazing. I am so excited to pick this up. I can't wait to see how the ASMR representation is. And yeah, there's also cute little dogs, if you're into that as well. And I especially love that this is a sapphic romance written by a sapphic woman, so it's the perfect representation. And yeah, I'm super excited to pick this up. Find me a book that feels like a stormy day. Okay, so for this prompt, I actually have 2 recommendations. They are both YA fantasy, and the setting is really what gives me that like stormy, gloomy, gray kind of vibe. Okay, the first one is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. This follows our main character, Bree, and her mom has just passed away, and she also gets accepted into this like early college program. So I think she's like 16, 17, but she gets into college early and is like a gifted student. And when she shows up to this college that her mother actually went to as well, she discovers that there's some weird things going on. She starts seeing demons and magic, and she gets wrapped up in this secret society at her school. And she also discovers that her mom was involved and kind of how that connects to her. And it's just super, super good, super interesting. And since it is that like, you know, secret society wearing cloaks, going like underground, secret meetings, kind of dark academia style vibe, I feel like The Stormy Day really fits it. really suits the vibe. It is also inspired by King Arthur, so if you like that story, then you'll definitely like this. And I highly recommend. This is a YA fantasy series that deserves way more hype. Go check it out. I can't wait to read the second book. Then, of course, I also want to recommend Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This book is set in a fantastical version of Russia, so I feel like it really fits that gloomy, stormy, gray vibe as well. And in this world, there are Grisha, who are people that have magic abilities, and then like normal people, just the regular schmegular people. And our main character, Helena, thinks that she is just a regular girl, and she is in the army, and there is this big, black, gloomy, dark cloud hole called the Fold, and Grisha, as well as a few selected army people, have to cross the Fold for like trading purposes and stuff like that. So Alina ends up having to cross the Fold with some Grisha, and since the Fold is literally like a big dark storm cloud, definitely fits the vibes. And of course, she discovers that she's actually Grisha, and she might be the most important Grisha of all. This is also a show on Netflix, and I absolutely loved the first season of the show, so find me a book that will keep me on my toes the entire time. Now, this is such an underrated book. The book that I'm going to recommend for this, I picked up in like 2018 or 2019, and this was at a time when I was not really reading for enjoyment or pleasure. I was deep in my college studies, and I just didn't have like time to read on my own. But it's a nonfiction memoir by a YouTuber that I really liked, so I pre-ordered it, and when it arrived, I like picked it up, just thought, okay, I'll start it, read a few chapters, and then I couldn't put it down, and I finished it in one sitting, and I stayed up until 3 a.m. to finish it because I literally could not put it down. I was on the edge of my seat. Okay, it is A Sucky Love Story by Brittany Louise Taylor. Now, I will be the first to say that this is not an amazing cover, okay? And the writing is very average, but do not let that fool you because the contents, the actual, like, storyline, I mean, it's not really a story because she really lived this. This was a real life experience, but the stuff that she went through is absolutely batshit bonkers, off the wall. Like, it feels like it came from a story, a movie. So, Brittany Louise Taylor was a really popular YouTuber back in the day. She was huge in like the parody music video era, and I used to watch her when I was much younger, and then I kind of rediscovered her videos because she started posting these family vlogs. She got pregnant, she had a child, she was engaged, buying a house, and I remember as a viewer, everything happened so quickly between her and her husband, her fiance or whatever, and he was a foreign doctor, and it just seemed like she was living her best life, and then all of a sudden he was no longer in the videos. She ended up changing her son's name because her son was named after his dad, and she kind of was talking about how she was dealing with legal problems and that she couldn't share what was happening or talk about what was going on until she got clearance, and then she did. And this is her like tell-all book about the extremely emotionally manipulative and abusive relationship that she was in with her son's father, and how she got out of it and how she dealt with it. And like, when I tell you that this man, the things that this man did, absurd, absolutely crazy, like the mafia's involved, it is so insane. So yeah, definitely recommend this. Pick it up. You you won't regret it, or even listen to the audiobook. It's not like the best well-written story, and I think like the intro and the whole like spin it tries to take on why online dating is bad is kind of cheesy, but the core timeline of the relationship was so interesting to read about, and I couldn't put it down. So this isn't a love story, it's my story of survival. Yeah, read it. Find me a book that gives off Leo vibes. Now, I don't know if the main character of this story is actually a Leo, but if I had to guess, she definitely is. She gives off that energy that I will protect my loved ones to the ends of the earth. They are fiery, they know they're bad bitches, and this character really just embodies the Leo energy. And she is Alex Craft from The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. This is another book that is totally underrated. It's available to read on Kindle Unlimited, by the way. It is a YA coming of age romance. I mean, I would say this book is like 50% YA romance and 50% examining rape culture in teenagers. Oh my god. It was incredible. It was impeccable. I find this one kind of hard to describe, so I am going to read part of the blurb on the back. Alex Craft knows how to kill someone, and she doesn't feel bad about it. 3 years ago, when her older sister Anna was murdered and the killer walked free, Alex uncaged the language she knows best, the language of violence. While her own crimes go unpunished, Alex knows she can't be trusted among other people. Not with Jack, the star athlete who wants to really know her, but still feels guilty over the role he played the night that Anna's body was discovered. And not with PK, the preacher's kid with a defiant streak, who befriends Alex while they volunteer together at an animal shelter. As their senior year unfolds, Alex's darker nature breaks out, setting these 3 teens on a collision course that will change their lives forever. Author Mindy McGinnis artfully crafts 3 alternating perspectives into a dark and riveting exploration of what it means to be the female of the species. Feminist, bad bitch, murderous woman with an amazing golden retriever romance. This book is everything. Highly recommend. Find me a book that feels like a summer backpacking adventure. This is another book that I have yet to read, but I definitely want to pick up this summer, and it perfectly fits the vibe. It is Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. This actually stuck out to me originally because it is set in the Red Rocks of Utah, and I am from Utah, if you didn't know. It follows Lily and Leo, who have some sort of romantic connection from the past, and one day they reunite because Lily is working at this treasure hunting company, so she takes groups of people through the Red Rocks on treasure hunt explorations. Perfect. And one day Leo and his friends show up to do one of these treasure hunts, and Lily and Leo reconnect. So, romance in a treasure hunt, backpacking through the Red Rocks. It sounds like the perfect summer adventure, and I can't wait to read it. I also have a signed edition, which is pretty cool. Find me a book that brings out your inner child. Now, I have talked about this before in my top 10 books of all time that I filmed like a year or 2 ago, so it's been a minute, but this is still one of my favorite books, and I figured it was about time that I recommend it again. It is You May her mom, and she has like a deadbeat dad who left one day and has never come back. And so Olivia constantly writes her dad letters and also constantly joins like sweepstakes to win money or prizes because she thinks that one day she will win a sweepstake and have enough money for her family to be happy and support themselves. And it is just such a beautiful story about childhood hope and wonder and finding the beauty in shitty situations. Although I can't relate directly to what Olivia goes through in this book, some of the things that she said and the stuff that she did reminded me of myself as a child, and it really just brought out that childlike energy within me, and it was very emotional, but I loved it so much. I love Olivia so much. I just wish I could give her the biggest hug. It is a middle grade book, so it is targeted toward, children, but I think anyone of any age could read this, enjoy it, and get something out of it. So, highly recommend. I definitely want to reread it now that I've been talking about it. Find me a book that follows an unhinged woman with horrible family relationships. Now, I've gotta recommend Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. This book is a classic. It's a classic. Also one of my favorite covers of all time. This book is set in 1960s Hollywood, and it follows a woman named Maria, and she is in an unhappy marriage. She is like a failed actress who is married to a director, and this book it talks about so many different things. It talks about the nature of Hollywood and fame. It talks about feminism. It talks about women who are forced to be in uncomfortable situations to help men succeed. This book is nihilism incarnate. It is so depressing and sad, but I ate it up in one sitting. It's a book I picked up and I could not put it down, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not like Maria. She is a very unlikable main character, but even though I didn't agree with her choices or some of the things that she did or some of the things that she says in this book, you just can't help but be entranced and feeling kind of sorry for her. Find me a book that has a main character that you hated, but you still gave it 4 or 5 stars. I feel like this is the perfect prompt to recommend my current read. I am just about to finish it. It is Bunny by Mona Awad. I will say, for the first 150 pages, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this, but now I only have 50 pages left, and I'm definitely enjoying it. Our main character, Samantha, she is studying writing at this prestigious college when she meets a group of women that call themselves the Bunnies. They are very feminine, girly, super just bubblegum pink pop star energy, right? And they all hang out together, and they have this strange cult-like group, and it follows Samantha as she kind of gets warped into this cult of women, and it is wild. It's definitely a book that makes you just go what the fuck did I just read? But if you're interested in that, a lot of people say it gives Heather's vibes, which I can totally see. But yeah, definitely dark academia for the Heathers girlies, and the writing is so interesting and unique. Mona Awad has one of the most unique voices in her writing that I've ever read. So it's also horror. So if you like a little bit of horror, a little bit of unhinged women, very unhinged women energy, I recommend it. I don't think it's my favorite unhinged woman book, but it fits the prompt for sure. Find me a book that is emotionally draining in a good way. There's just one book hates it. So that book is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This is Chanel Miller's memoir, and Chanel was the woman who previously went by Jane Doe in the Brock Turner Stanford campus sexual assault case. And so, as you can imagine, this book is very heavy. It is very emotionally exhausting, hearing about Chanel's experience being sexually assaulted, and then the 3-year-long trial that followed, where the media constantly judged and criticized her. And it is so emotionally draining. There were moments when I was reading this that I had to put it down and stop reading it for periods of time because it was so heavy and I was just so impacted by it. But as a sexual assault survivor, I do not think that there is another book I found that perfectly encapsulates and describes the way that it feels to be a sexual assault survivor in the 21st century. And yeah, it is exhausting, it is draining, it is sad, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it. Chanel's writing is beautiful, and this is a story that needs to be heard by everyone. As you can tell by the tabs, this is one of my most tabbed books because so much of it spoke directly to my soul, and I highly recommend it. And the last oddly specific book recommendation: find me a book that will give you butterflies just by thinking about it. Every time I glimpse this book on my shelf or I think about it in passing, it gives me butterflies. It gives me this just beautiful feeling deep inside. It is Emily Henry's Happy Place. I just raved about this in my April reading wrap-up, but this just came out at the end of April and I finished it in like 2 days. I could not stop reading it. It is so amazing. It just takes you through every emotion possible, and the relationship that this book follows is between Harriet and Wynne, and their romance and these characters, they just feel so real to me, and they just give me that like true love, swoony feeling. It's a perfect summer read. It's a romance, but it is so deep, and it talks about so much more than just romantic love. There's platonic love and the friendship group also, and the setting, everything about it is just perfect and romantic and full of butterflies. I love it. This book also holds very strong Midnight Rain by Taylor Swift energy. That's Harriet and Wynne. He was sunshine, I was midnight rain. It's them. If you have not picked this up yet, go get it. It just came out. You will not regret it. I am a slave for Miss Emily Henry. That's my girl.